What's up, creepers and geekers? Christy, Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? Happy Friday the 13th. I'm actually just firing up the disc right now. I had a little bit of a technical problem. I already did this intro. And the DVD player got all screwy on me. So, hope you're having a wonderful Friday the 13th. And I'm sorry, look, you like my mask? It looks a lot whiter on the screen than it does in person. I've been spending a lot of time making this as legit as I can. I love Part 3. It's my favorite of them all. I'm not saying it's the best, but today we're going to watch Friday the 13th Part 2. We've already done the original, and we've already done Part 4 when we did a tribute to Ted White. When we had to do a tribute to Ted White when he passed away. So we're going to continue on this fine Friday the 13th, and there's also one in December, and we'll pull out the Part 3 for that. The set I'm watching it from is this. I don't buy new. If these work just fine, I'll watch it. Plus, I prefer the graininess of the older movies, so cleaning up the image does nothing to me. So I'm going to hit play. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, pause, then go. Right? Right when I say the word go, hit play, and we should be good. All right? So I'll give you a second here to get set up. Hopefully you're already set up. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. And right now I have this thing that says the motion picture has been rated R. I should have set up the movie while it was playing, but either way, I have to watch it on the TV because I have no way of watching it on the computer where I can keep the noise away. So if you can hear it in the background, I apologize. I'm going to try to minimize that. I know this movie very well. Oh, hey, let's do that. I know this movie very, very, very well. And so we don't need a Steve Miner film. So how I look at the Friday the 13th movies, okay? I look at the first 4 as the definitive Friday flicks, okay? Part 6 is amazing. It's probably my favorite. It's probably the best in the whole series, but Part 3 is my favorite. We all know this, right? I'm seeing the little girl in the puddle with her feet. I won't do this the whole movie, but just to let you know where we're at so you're at least close enough, right? You don't have to be exact. I have the volume down to number 7. But how I view them is Part 1 is its own thing, right? It's its own story. And then I put 2 and 3 in its own category, and then Part 4. And I know it's a continuation. I do, so don't correct me down below. I know that. This is my favorite horror franchise, okay? So you don't have to correct me on that. But the way my brain just put this together was that they kind of did like an anthology thing. I mean, Mrs. Voorhees' head was gone, right? So they had to do something to make money, so they brought Jason out. So I kind of detach it from the first one, even though it is connected. I know with the whole thing at the end and all that. Please, again, don't correct me. And there's just something about the graininess of the first 3 that I really love. Part 4 is when they kind of clean it up. We've talked about this before. They start cleaning it up a little bit, and I'm just like, There was, people call these sleazy, and they were, like in Part 3, when we're talking more about 3 than we are 2. But we're at the recap, so Mrs. Voorhees just popped up on the screen, and Alice is, who are you? So we could talk until the new movie comes up, but there was a graininess to the original movies, and what I was going to say about Part 3 is when Harold in the beginning was taking a, and you can literally hear the plopping in that's kind of sleazy. But I think Steve Miner did an amazing job with 2 and 3. I think they're very well done. There's a lot of payoff and setup, or setup and payoff, and just really good. It's not class art or anything, or high art, but for what it is within its own little world, I think they're amazing. I really do. And I think 2 and 3 are how I feel when I think Friday the 13th. Maybe not think of, but their vibe is what I think of. And I hope that makes sense to a lot of you. I watched 2 and 3 probably the most growing up. 4 I would watch on the occasion. That's a fun movie. Part 7 is like a party movie. I didn't get into it as much as other people did, but it's classic. It has my second favorite kill of all time. My second favorite kill of all time, the sleeping bag. It's not my number 1, and I think I have said it was before. But for some reason, I always forget the hand-walking scene in Part 3. Maybe we should just fucking watch Part 3. Maybe we should watch them all out of order, right? But Mrs. Voorhees is just pulling out her blade now. You should have been watching her. You know, I promise I won't keep doing that until after the credits. I just want to make sure you're in line with me, right? But yeah, okay, so now you know how I like these movies. Friday the 13th Part 2, I actually have a fun connection to this movie. Sorta. Back in the early 2000s, I had a forum, a prop shop forum, for guys who like to make replica props. And I also had a Friday the 13th page called F13 Fan, and it was through some free domain thing, so it was like .2ya.com. And it turned out to be a shady thing. Some people were getting like fucking viruses and stuff. So I kind of, I closed it down. Allison and Mrs. Voorhees Pamela are fighting right now on the sand. And we would do like updates on like Friday the 13th, and we'd do little articles, and I had people that were like makers and stuff that they would write out a how-to, and I would put it on my board with their name and all that. It was actually kind of a really great website, and I feel like I did an amazing job with it. Well, right around that time, and if you know how to use the Wayback Machine, please try to find this eBay ad. The house, the main cabin house from this movie, Part 2, was for sale. The only catch is you had to move the damn thing. I actually put in a $2,500 bid. No, I put in a $1,000 bid. And the last time I checked, I remember it went to like $2,700. Might have went for more than that. And I don't know if it actually ever got moved or not, or if it even got bought. I just remember the last number I remember seeing was somewhere between $2,500 and $2,700. So again, if you're a Wayback Machine cat, try to find that. Try to find that for me and send me a link or something. I'd love to do a little video about that over on the Creepy Crawl. That I was actually in the running to buy the house from, or the cabin, or whatever you want to call it. Where they filmed this was actually like a hunting lodge. You know? I forget the name of the park and everything. It's private now. And last time someone did a video, it was being developed or something. But the main building from this movie was sold on eBay in the early 2000s. My guess, somewhere around 2003 or 4. That would be my best guess. It may have been a little after, may have been a little bit before, but it is what it is. All right, we're on Alice in the hospital. The boy, is he still there? I don't know if you know this, but the cop in here, I forget the actor's name, but Sean Cunningham used him a lot. I believe he's in House. I believe he's in the horror show. He's just one of those actors, those character actors that Sean Cunningham, I guess, knew personally. I don't know. Okay, so we're into the new movie. Alice just woke up from her nightmare. I'm not really a fan of this whole opening. I know they felt like they had to connect it somehow. And it's not the lack of logic. It's not the disconnect of the logic. Because if you're going into a movie like this trying to find logic, maybe this kind of entertainment's not for you. I just can't stand it when people just... That was so unrealistic. It's Friday the fucking 13th, dude. It's entertainment. Suspend your fucking disbelief. I'm serious. I'm so tired of that. It's so unrealistic. How could he survive all that? Because it's a motion picture. It's designed to help us escape. We're here to escape reality. I don't know. But I've never been a fan of this opening scene. It's not because they kill her off. I didn't really care either way about that. Because back then, before I even really got into like the internet and all that stuff, she was just another character in a movie, you know? Now that the internet, I mean, I've talked to her a few times online on Facebook. You know, she's got a Facebook page she's very active on. And she does tours at the, what is it? Shit, it'll come to me. The camp where the original one, something Bosco, Nobi Bosco, I believe that's it. Let me know in the comments if I got it right at all. Nobi Bosco, down in Jersey. Every now and again, she hosts, or is at least a guest. They do tours down there, right? They do tours, and sometimes on Friday the 13th, you can sleep in the cabins overnight from the original movie. You can sleep in the cabins overnight, and sometimes she's there, sometimes other characters are there, and you get to watch the movie at the campground in which it was filmed at. And I would love someday to be able to afford that experience. It's over $1,000. I can't remember what it was. And last time I checked, I think it was like $1,400 or something like that total. And if I had the expendable income, I absolutely would do it. I absolutely would do it. And you guys know my camera would be rolling the whole time. Well, not while enjoying the movie or, time with the guests, the talents, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so she's in the bathroom now. It's not really much to talk about with this scene. It's a lot of fake outs, shower, okay. And she's the one who actually scares you. There you go. The nagging mom call. Actually, this one is a prank call. I didn't know Jason knew how to use a telephone, That kind of disbelief crap. I don't mind making fun of it, but I'm not going to get all serious about it. But let me know in the comments, which one of the first four is your favorite. Most people think that the fourth one is the best. Even though the first one was so iconic, a lot of people don't feel that's even a good movie. It just was the right movie at the right time for the right genre of the right era of, the right decade. And even though, technically, you got Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Psycho, M for Murder, Black Christmas. There's a lot of slashers before that. But they weren't really slasher flicks yet, weren't they? They were just scary movies. They were horror movies, right? I believe they used to call it a stalk and slash kind of movie, but we narrowed it down to the word slasher. But Friday the 13th is what solidified it as a genre of film, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm not saying it's better than Halloween, and I'm not saying it's better than Black Christmas. I'm not saying it's better than any of them. I'm just giving you the facts. The art that you see in here is actually hers. She is an artist. And that's another reason why I follow her. I don't follow her because she's an actress from Friday the 13th. In fact, I don't really follow many other actors or actresses from the series. I don't know. There's just something about her and the camp and how active she is. Was it her that had the vineyard? Friday the 13th vineyard or Jason's bloodline? I don't know. Somebody sold wine. I'm pretty sure it was her for a little while, but she's a great abstract artist. Amazing stuff. What are you doing, lady? I always wondered where those stairs went. Oh my goodness, a kitty cat just scared me. I'm terrified. Stupid cat. They're eating the cats and they're eating the dogs. Man, that's been aggravating me. That debate was a shit show, and that's all people took from it. Nonsense. There's so many world problems right now. National problems. No one can fucking afford a carton of eggs. There's Mama. Yeah, right next to the milk. Man, that was always a... Oh, I could feel it, Temple always fucked with me. Everyone has that one thing. My mom, whenever a knife would go in a movie, like in Halloween 2... I'm sure we talked about it when I did a commentary on that one too, I imagine. Look at this, iconic. I like this font, the blocky font, more than I like what you see that ended up on the posters and on the ends of the VHS tapes. Actually, no, the VHS tapes didn't even have the font. They had this weird kind of like muted gray look to them with the giant Paramount and then bold black text, Very, very, very nostalgic. Very nostalgic. Just hearing the thing coming out and seeing it there. Good stuff. Music, Harry Manfredini. Amazing stuff. There's not much bad I can really say about any of these movies aside from, within their realm, I'm not putting this up against Citizen Kane or anything, so let's not get crazy now. But I could talk about Friday the 13th all day. I really could. Coming. Sorry. It was one of the credits, just before the special effects makeup guy. So Warren Gillette. I've met him. I haven't met the other guy. He passed away a few years back. Oh my God, I can't remember anyone's name right now. I apologize, but the guy who actually did the work, you know, for the most part, a New York guy, you know, really nice guy. But I never got to meet him. I did meet Warrington Gillette, and I mean, he was all right. I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. I think it was fucked up what he did when the resurgence of Friday the 13th love happened in the early 2000s with the internet and everything. He just jumped in there with the spotlight, and the other dude just totally, and he didn't even know. Someone had to tell him. Actually, I think I got that from the extras in here. He was like, I didn't even know I had fans. and his friends were like, dude, you were the guy. That's a quote. You were Jason. Go out there, man. Don't let this guy take all of your credit. Yeah, I don't know. Ralph Barney. Did you know the guy who played Crazy Ralph here? Wait, no, is that his name? Whatever. Correct me down below. The guy who played Crazy Ralph here, and we all know what happens to him. If you haven't seen this movie before now, I'm going to spoil it all for you. Because he does die later on. He gets killed. You should have seen the movie before coming here. That's what commentary tracks are all about. But he's actually in another Friday the 13th. Can you tell me which one it is without Googling it? And I'll trust that you didn't. But if you did, your conscience and your soul will know. And you won't be able to sleep tonight. But what other movie was Crazy Ralph, the actor? What other movie was he in the Friday the 13th series? It's good trivia for you. I told the others, they didn't believe me. Now this chick here, on top of being super fucking cute, she is the reason why that guy Rob in part 4 goes hunting. She's the one who was his sister. I can't even speak today. This was his sister. So this is who he's trying to find or find out what happened to, you know. But, I mean, look at this. I mean, you have your introduction. I get a street in my town that looks just like this. With that weird, you know, and the fucked up concrete. But look at this. This was needless. You didn't have to do this. They could have just met up with their friend. But there's a little prank involved. It's got some charm to it. So it's not just a dead movie. A lot of people think these slashers are like just, you know. With what budget they had and what material they were working with, I really think they did a really great job with the first 4. Again, within its own. But Stu here, I don't know if I ever met him, but he's got this one song called Blame Everything. And again, I think that's on here as a Easter egg that you can find. I think the chorus goes, blame everything, everywhere and every when. Blame everywhere and every when. What a great line. What a great line. Classic Friday the 13th, showing a vehicle coming down the road on the way to camp. Look at that. Look at that short bed. I'm glad it's not a step side. I'm not a fan of step sides. You lose a little bit of utility. They look great, but that's a gorgeous truck. I remember even back then. Oh, that's actually probably a Blazer, huh? That's a Blazer. That's not a pickup. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a Blazer. Nope, it's a pickup. I'm fucking stupid. I bet you all of yous are on there. Look, the tree. Now, I don't know what the writer or the director's intentions were for this tree, but I interpret this already cut down tree. This didn't fall. It's definitely been hacked. Was dragged out by our boy, Jason. God, she's cute. She's just really cute. There's a lot of cute chicks in here. My third favorite kill is in this movie, and I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it when we get to it. I'm pretty sure you guys, if you know me, you can figure out which one it is. It's pretty mean-spirited. I know a guy who made reproductions of this little Crystal Lake sign. It's a simple thing to make, and he would either give it to you brand new or he would distress it like how she just found it. She's got nice tits. I don't mean to be vulgar, but I don't know. I like them. I like them short. Love the POV. POV is awesome. Yes, we saw the sign already. Thank you. This place right here, that building, almost looks like a salt box style house. That's what was sold. But you just had to move it off the property. And I was in Arizona. This is in Jersey, I'm sure. I can't remember exactly, but it was definitely in the... No, was this one in Connecticut? Might have been in Connecticut. Let me look that up. Get out of here. Where was Friday the 13th Part 2 filmed? Yeah, Connecticut. Down in Connecticut. And I was in Arizona, so... bum. Look at that. Old school slingshot. What do kids know about that shit now? I mean, even by the time I was old enough to have fun with the slingshot, we had the wrist rockets that we'd have to go to New Hampshire for because everything's illegal here in Massachusetts. Because, God forbid, anybody's allowed to just fucking make their own decisions in life. Like think about it. Helmet law and seatbelt law, I think is ridiculous. Not because I don't want people... I wear my seatbelt, and when I ride a bike, you know, I put a helmet on. Absolutely. It's a safety thing. I would do it. But I don't think the government has the right to tell you whether or not you should do that. And the argument is well, the emergency people. So what? That's what they're there for. That's what they're there for. You're going to get into an accident, they're going to be coming anyway, right? And I mean no disrespect to first responders. I mean zero disrespect, because I have a great relationship with not only the law enforcement in town, but the first responders, the fire department. I went to school with a lot of them, you know, and the ambulance drivers and the like. But that argument always bothered me. Yeah, I think his name is Ralph Varney. Oh, man. I only say that because he was on the screen. Uh, 85, husband of Mary Varney. I may even be looking at the wrong obituary. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. You let me know in the comments. Actually, I'm not really fishing for comments right now. There's Ginny Girl. She is so cute. There is this one picture of her next to Steve Miner, and she's got her makeup all fucked up because she's been crying. It doesn't even look like her. It looks like a younger version. I'm assuming she was in her early 20s, so maybe 19-ish. I don't know. As far as the look in the image, where she just looks so cute. She's probably one of the best final girls in any slasher flick, if you ask me. Not only was she resourceful and strong, but she was fucking smart, you know? And people talk all the time about how degrading to women these are, how anti-women these are. And every final survivor, I can't say final girl because it would be redundant, is a woman. Or a girl, depending on how you want to look at it. I never liked Paul. There was just something about him that seemed sleazy to me. I wish we got to see him die. We get to see him get beat up. But, yeah, you know what? I mean, this chick gets him. Gets him with that reverse psychology, you know? I like that. I like smart chicks. I really do. I like chicks that are, you know, I don't like weaklings. I don't like dummies. A lot of guys go after that because they're weak themselves, but it's when the chick makes it her, you know, I'm a strong, independent woman. Why? Because you pay your bills? It's called being a human. But characters like Ginny is what I mean by a strong woman. You know, mind and body, and you know, doesn't care if she needs to be vulnerable in a moment and strong in another. You know, there's a good balance to a woman like that. Here, relationship advice from Chris the Atari Creep. Yeah, keep clean during your menstrual cycle. Why wouldn't that be an obvious without bears, though? You know? Look at her. She's smiling. She knows. She knows. She's like, he's a dumb dude, you know? I don't know where that's coming from, but regardless. I believe the muffler, the exhausts on the Beatles are much lower than that, but suspend disbelief. Remember I just said that stuff earlier? Or maybe that was in the first take. I started this, and when I went to hit play, the TV fucking went down. I had to pause for too long. It's having a hard time. It's an older TV. It's having a hard time with each disc has 2 movies, so it freaks it out sometimes. On a regular DVD or Blu-ray player, it's fine, but the campsite, the campfire scene. So when I would go camping, I would bring one of these with me. It's not this one. I had a fiberglass one that I got from a guy back in the early 2000s. He had a website called Horror Hockey Masks. And to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure he used that same mold that he had for his Part 3. It wasn't very accurate, but it didn't have a gash in it and didn't have the Part 7, cutaway. And you couldn't find a lot of Part 3s back then. It was always Part 4 and up. And he made a Part 3 that wasn't the greatest, but I bought one for like $75. But he made it super, like almost like a little over a quarter, maybe 3/8 inch thick. Really thick fiberglass. But I believe he's the one who designed the mask for, what do you call it there? The remake. The remake. Or was it Freddy vs. Jason? It might have been Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, it was Freddy vs. Jason because I hated that mask, and it looked just like the one I used to have. But I would bring that to camp, and I would hang it from a tree on our campsite. But the first night we would do this, and all the kids would gather around, but they would tell us scary stories. They would take the sugar and throw it into, like, what was that? It was After My Time. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Is that the show? Where they would tell stories by the campfire and throw something into the... But if you do that with sugar, this blue flame will come up. So when it's your turn, the kids would go, and they'd be like, continue the scary story. And then just randomly, and I wouldn't even tell the adults to cue me, I wouldn't tell them to do anything, I would do exactly this. I would just jump out. And my son, who's my oldest, one time literally jumped out of the lap of one person and into the lap of someone else, like 5 people away. I mean, that dude, whoo! Poor kid, he crying. I think I traumatized him. Sorry. I'm not going to say his first name. Sorry, buddy. I'm a bad dad. No, fuck that. I had fun. So here we have the obligatory catch you up to speed kind of, set up. Ooh, Jeannie's really after her. After him. Second act needs work. Look at the handheld. What game do you think that is? Is that the football one? Is that the basketball one? My brother had those, the really long ones, if you're not seeing what I'm talking about. Oh, man. This guy. Fucking Rico Suave over here. This is a great move. You can't deny that. The chick is obviously into him, but she's playing hard to get. So he dances with her dog. How cool is that? I mean, tell me that's not an instant panty dropper. He's even talking to it. He's even fucking talking to the damn thing. Yeah. I remember one of the first times I saw this, I really thought Jason was going to put on that stupid mask. I'm sure it was made to... Oh, you know what that is? That's not one of the basketball, like the Tiger Electric, or, you know what I'm talking about, the old, that's that, oh my God, who made that? The very first actual handheld thing, and like half of it was the cartridge. And it clicked together. Oh my God, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. Willie of Arcade USA has a great series on that console. It's like this big long thing, and it was LCD, it was liquid crystal. But, like, you wouldn't buy a cartridge. It would be, like, half the unit, and it would slap onto it. Let me know in the comments. I'm honestly not fishing. I'm not fishing. But let me know what that was called. Hopefully it'll come to me. Hopefully it'll come to me. But that's what that was. I want to say it was made by some random company like Parker Brothers or something like that. But, all right, I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. I also love that he's like, hold on. I wrote vintage handheld, and I got like mirrors and shit. All right, let's see. Let's go into images. I'll keep looking. But I know once I see it, I'm gonna kick myself in the butt and be like, yes, that's what it was. Jeannie's boobies. Well, she's in a bra. She's in a bra. Oh my goodness. She really is. She really is cute, man. Amy Steele. I told her that online back in the early 2000s. I'm like, you know what? You're probably the cutest chick in the whole series. And she's like, oh, I'm so flattered. Thank you. Now go away, you widow. Not literally. But, the suspense scenes like this, you don't know what's going to happen. When you walk into this movie, you don't know who the final victim is going to be, or the final girl, or the final guy. You can kind of guess, but you know what? I mean, Friday the 13th already dispelled the whole, let's follow the, who we think is going to be the final girl, and then dispatched her. Psycho did the same thing, Scream, well after this, But you don't know who's going to go and who's not. In 1982 or 1, whenever this came out, 81, 82 was part 3. There we go. There's my boy. There's my boy. Much love, Jay. Much love. You take care of those humans. Get rid of them. The less, the better. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm still looking for that console. I'm still looking for it. April Fool's Day is another great movie with Amy in it. Here we go. Sorry, Crazy Ralph. I got something to tell you. What do you think it was? I want to say she was going to say that she's pregnant. Because she's smiling. A lot of people think it's that she's on her period. But she's smiling like she's happy about something. I know there's a little joke in the mirror, beware of bears or whatever it is. And they're trying to tie that to the whole, safety speech he gave earlier. About clean on your period. But I think she was trying to tell him that she's pregnant. That's my guess anyway. I don't know. Oh, was that it? Is that it? Did I just literally scroll away from it? No. Damn it. I'm going to find it. Everyone's running, dude's just sitting in a chair. Here we go. The Microvision by... I can't see it because I don't have my glasses. But here, let's change screens. This thing. Can you see it? That's what I'm pretty sure he was playing with. And it's funny because each one of the games had its own controls built into it. You basically kept buying consoles kept buying consoles. And, oh, here's a picture of like all of them. Alien Raiders, Basketball, Blockbuster, Sea Duel. You basically, actually, no, the spinner I think was built in. The spinner I think was built in. And, bye-bye, Muffin. I'm just going to say Muffin dies. Muffin dies because if we're to believe what happened at the end, Ginny dreamed all that, and that's why Paul's not there. If you watch each one, there's like a dream jump scare. And people are confused by it. Where's Paul? Where's Paul? And even she's saying it. Well, I can tell you what happened to Paul. He got killed. He got killed by Jason. And so did Muffin. Muffin didn't come back at the end. We clearly see Muffin, the bow and everything or whatever. I always looked at the end when Jason comes through the window after Ginny as a dream sequence. Like in part 3, when Jason's mom comes out of the lake and Jason comes through the door with the big gash on his head and all that. And then she's just like, oh, that's not real. And then the cop's like, what the fuck was she talking about? And you don't actually see the dream wake-up part like you do in the first one. But I always looked at it that way, that it was a continuation of that concept, that idea. I like how they set up that she knows how to use a chainsaw. Because you got to think about it, back then, people would be like, does she really know how to use a chainsaw? Because apparently women can't do shit, right? I don't get it. But, oh yeah, bikinis. Let's go to Camp Blood. I love this dude's hat. An old classic newsie, they call it. It's kind of like a scally cap, but not quite. Not quite. I did a whole video about newsies. In scally caps a long time ago when I got my first Boston scally, I think. My first or second, anyway. Every lake I went to had this same fucking path. And every time I would walk down it, I would expect to find Jason's cabin. Or at least find something like that in the woods. How amazing would that be? Just as long as there isn't a dude in there trying to, hack me up. And maybe, whatever. Everyone's got to have a hobby, bro. Everyone's got to have a hobby. Yeah, grab that ass. Sorry, I'm going to say it again. Just getting a chance. Amazing little package there. I don't mean to be, I'm not disrespectful, but she's cute as fuck. And these are sleazy movies, so I'm going to respond that way. I'm actually a lot more respectful of women than I'm letting on. You can ask anyone around here. This joke reminds me of, do you remember joecartoon.com? I'm sure it's still around. And he had like fishing with the gerbil in the blender. Those are great. That's what that joke reminds me of. Probably where it came from. What's green and red, it spins at 100 miles an hour, frog in a blender. That kind of a thing, Ba-dum-bum-bum, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'm gay. Because this chick here, the one I keep saying is cute, the one whose brother comes looking for her later on in the series, her profile reminds me of this kid named Billy I used to hang out with. He used to work with me at Friendly's. And her profile looks like she could be his sister. So maybe I'm just craving my buddy Billy. Excuse that I keep doing this. It's warm. I'm in the studio, obviously. And there's no climate control in here. I'm not opening a window. I don't want the neighbors hearing this. I don't want them hearing me scream, nice tits! Kill that bitch! Or whatever. There goes my monetization. There goes the 12 cents I'll get from this video. We clearly see Jason's there. We don't know if anyone's going to get whacked or not. They knew what they were doing. The suspense is real. Yeah. There you go. That's Muffin. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm not even going to sit there and say that it's a coincidence. Could be a coincidence. All right. So here's a little nitpick. It's not about the movie either, even though it's in the movie. His cruiser has solid red lights, and I don't know how the emergency vehicles work in your area, but here At least while I was growing up. Maybe not so much now as much, but cops always had blue and white, and that's it. Blue with a little bit of white. Fire department had mostly red, and maybe the little gumballs in the back, they might have had a blue one somewhere. Same with ambulances. Ambulance would be red and white. Same with the fire department. And I say white, you know, just a clear bulb. Beep, shut up. I live at a 5-way corner all day long, beeping. I've yet to see an accident there except for one road rage incident where they came down my street, went through the intersection, and then when they go down this other street, it curves real quick and has like a little bit of a bump, and they must have been doing about 50 miles an hour each. And if you saw my neighborhood, these roads aren't made for two cars going down the street at 50 miles an hour. And as soon as they started turning, they did this whole boing and ended up in other yards. So I'm surprised I haven't seen a horrible accident or someone get hit by a car over here. You know, hopefully never. But all fucking day long with the beep. And I attribute that to douchebags with this in their hand. I'm going to say something right now, and there's nothing you can say to fucking counter it. Those stereos, what are CDs? It's not the same. It's not the same. Not even close to the same. If you're the type that has this in your hand while you're driving, whether you're on it or texting, you're a scumbag. I fucking hate it when I see people doing this. The other day on my way to school, there was this Jeep in front of me. And you know what sucked? I let the dude in. I let him in. I should be talking about the movie, right? I let the dude in. You know, I was coming like that. I was going to take a right. I let him come. And I was behind him for so many miles. And he was driving super slow and like kind of veering and all that. I finally got on the side of him. And there he is. He's in his fucking Jeep. Like this. So I rolled down my window and I threw a penny at his door. And he rolled it down. I was like, get off your fucking phone. Fucking hate that. So here's another commonality that is dispelled. A lot of people used to think Jason just lumbers. And how does he get to you real quick? I like that they established that little water pond. I mean, that little puddle. So you can recognize where you are later on. You know, these movies were well thought out and done. But Jason runs. Jason runs in this movie. He runs in the next movie. He runs in the fourth movie. He's a runner. He's not just materializing all over the place. And another thing you got to remember, they're not showing it in real time. You know, they show a kill and they cut away from it. And then eventually Jason gets to the next spot, and that's when they pick up. Do you really want to watch him? What was that movie that recently just came out? Where you were literally watching the the slasher villain, the killer, walking around. You were literally on his shoulder, you know, behind him. Oh, what was that called? It was a really interesting movie. This is wonderful. The look on his face, he's like, my God. And we don't see what it is. And then we get to see it later. Set up, payoff. A lot more credit to these. The window and the view. I mean, there's you know, Ginny later on is going to be walking by that same window, and then you're going to see Jason like a maniacal hillbilly running down the road. He's all, oh, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. This always bothered me. The suspension of disbelief is real, though. How does he get a toilet out in the middle of the woods with water in it? Just shit in the woods, bro. I mean, look at your fucking shack. But I get it. I get it. I started this off with, you know, you need to learn to suspend disbelief. Or maybe that was in the original take. I don't know. But yeah, look at him. He's got this look. I'm just going to watch this. I love this kill. One thing bothers me about it, though. And in Halloween Part 2, there is a security guard that gets a hammer to the head. And I don't know which one, you know? Who's bouncing off of who here? I guess you could look at the release dates. But in Halloween Part 2, when Michael hits the security guard with the thing, it makes this ping noise. It just, it hurts. That was a missed opportunity. Look at those nipples. Oh, both of them. Must have been chilly that night. I kind of dig that they had all these people that you didn't even get to know. And they just get rid of them. And Stu. What happened to Stu? This is a cute relationship. Now, that choice of vests may have been cool in 1980, 81. Look at that truck. Look at that truck. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this, children. If you're young and you're watching what this guy does with that, the flag comes in every night. There should be a ceremony to it, but the flag comes in every night unless you have a dedicated light on it. We don't teach flag etiquette anymore. I think we should. I think we should. There's something to say about a little bit of patriotism. I'm not saying you have to be a fucking weirdo. I know that's a bad word these days. Look at the shadow. The slow shadow. Beautiful. Wonderful. Cinematography. The obligatory moonshot. It's a full moon. It's always a full moon when this motherfucker is around. Because it would have to be, because it's a cliche. Here comes some nudity. I don't think the Friday the 13th series had as much nudity as people seem to remember. Let's see, what movie? I think once we started getting into the later ones is when all the nudity really started. I mean, she's going to get naked. Let's see, part 1. Did we see any actual nudity in that one? I can't remember. Part 3, we barely see any. You see the chick who became a news anchor, the pregnant one, in the shower, and you do get to see her. You do get to see her breasts a little bit, but I don't really consider. I mean, it's nudity, but it's not like she's just you see her. Part 4 absolutely had nudity in it. Part 7, Part 6 had none. In fact, it barely had any sex at all. Although, the one scene that they did have, if you listen real closely at the end after she's getting up and walking away, you can hear the snap of him removing the condom. It's there. Listen, put the headphones on. Excuse me. I don't know if that was a nod to him not really being safe. I don't know. Does it matter how safe he is in bed? I really don't know. I just know I hear it. Look, you even get to see a little bit of how do I say this without you two freaking out? A little bit of hair. We'll just say hair. Wow, I sound like a fucking pervert in this one. That's alright, I don't care. It's a slasher film. We're allowed to be like that, right? Deer head. Or was that an elk? Get him. Yeah. So the girl here in the purple, she reminds me of a girl I went to high school with. Cute also. She was wicked sweet. The girl I went to high school with, I can't remember her name. I want to say it was like Megan or something like that, or Maggie, or, you know. But she's like, I only want your fingers. Oh, okay. It's funny that I'm just noticing this now. How weird is that? She's got the two different, or maybe I'm thinking that's not the console I think it is. I'm pretty sure the Microvision, you bought the cartridges and but those are both full consoles, so. This is a great relationship. It goes pretty south pretty quick, but poor guy's in a chair. He's about to get laid. Just quiet. You just hear the wildlife in the background, the crickets and the whatever. She's just going for a swim. Man, the 80s were awesome. Full frontal nudity. I'm just fucking around. I'm just playing. I mean, I'm not. I'm a dude. Oh, they're playful. Again, the 80s. Today, that dude would have caught a charge. I'm not saying rightfully or not rightfully so. I'm just stating the facts. Seeing her ribs like that always bothered me. As a kid, I'm like, someone needs to feed her. How come she doesn't eat? Snare trap. So that's the big question. And I think we all know the answer, but did Paul put that there? Or did Jason do it? I want to say Paul put it there and Jason just took advantage of it. But if you think about it, Jason is a woody guy. He's out in the woods. So he would know how to trap and stuff like that. I would assume. I mean, he grew up to be a big boy, so you know he's eating well. It may be like squirrels and rabbits and stuff, which is fine. I've eaten both. That was always cool. I didn't like that she looks into the camera, but that was cool. I wonder if all these cabins are still there. This fake out was always cool. Very artistic. Very artistic. All right, so the body count starts, well, kind of continues here, I should say. But here we go. I don't technically consider Crazy Ralph as, I guess you could. But I love how violent this is. That looks so good, doesn't it? That effect looks so good. That legit looked like his neck. Like Annie in the first one. You can see it's a prosthetic. It's blended perfectly. But it just doesn't quite match, you know? And when she lifts up and the blood comes out, it still looks great. Tom Savini is the GOAT. But you could see there, looks just like his neck. Props to the effects people in this flick. I don't know why they keep doing the close-up weird gag with her. Maybe they just wanted to get her boobs on the screen again? I don't know. I should have showed a big pool. People have a hard time with that, too. And I'm not talking about just this movie. Like, people just stop at the screen going, ah! And then they're gone. And you don't get to see... I don't think we need to see every death. I think it creates a nice little vibe, you know. You see some, you don't see the others. Maybe later on you see the body, you know. That was a nice Telecaster. Man, I had an opportunity to buy a nice Blackguard. When on my honeymoon, 99. Oh shit. We went to Mexico. We went to this place called Playa del Carmen. It's outside of Cozumel. It was an all-inclusive resort, and all they wanted to do was find a guitar shop in Mexico. You know, couldn't. But we did go to this place called Senor Frogs, and because we were part of this particular resort, we had open bar for I think it was 2 hours. And I was double fisting Dos Equis up and down, taking shots. It was actually such a great time. It was a fucking wicked fun time. Everyone was having fun. They had games for people up on the stage. There was a band playing. This one chick puked all over herself playing a drinking game on stage. Went to the hotel, cleaned up, or the resort, and then came back and just kept slamming them down. It was that kind of a vibe. And when the band took a break, I walked over. I'm like, hey, are there any musical instrument shops around here? And two of the band members spoke English and translated to the guitar player for me. And they're like, not really. Not really. If you go into town, they call it Fifth Avenue. It was funny. But if you go into town, we'll talk about the psychology stuff in a minute. This is more important. Guitars in Mexico. But this is what I love about Ginny. I mean, she's got Jason nailed. She's telling you exactly what's going on. Very smart chick. Love Ginny. Ginny's amazing. One of the best final girls. I would say I like her better than Laurie. If you don't like it. She's definitely cuter than Laurie. Just saying. But so I was asking them about that, and they're like, well, he's selling this Telecaster, and at the time I was still in the... So the Telecaster wasn't on my mind, even though it's one of the goats of guitars. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't really have time to play around with it, trying to get out of it, you know? And they're like, well, do you know any songs? Here's our playlist. So they had Roadhouse Blues on there by the Doors. I'm like, you guys want to play that tonight? And they're like, yeah. And I got up there and played in Senior Frogs. And I think it was in Cozumel. I can't remember exactly what city it was in. But it was in that area. And my now ex-wife was just like, dude, only you could end up in another country and end up on stage. Man, times used to be so fun. Times used to be so fun. Here we go, the voyeur. The voyeur views. And here comes all the sexy stuff. The stuff that really triggers the boy. Oh, excuse me. Looks like she's got puffy pepperoni nipples. Puffy pepperoni nipples. Man, I wish I had bought that. I mean, I probably wouldn't have owned it to this day, but... What happened? Why are you in the chair? I do like this. And he's like, motorcycle accident. I'll be fine. This is such a great way for her to... I mean, if she's not... I mean, she's spitting every signal out there. If this kid can't figure it out, then he doesn't deserve to get his wick wet. It took that. Does your dick still work? That's basically what she said. Smoke a joint. Remember, I'm in training. She's like, for what? For what? The dude's in a wheelchair. I'm in training. I actually took that as he's in training as far as getting his strength, because he clearly said that he's going to walk again. Spoiler. No, he's never going to walk again. This is such a great kill. It's a homage, by the way. This kill was done in I believe it was in an old Giallo flick. Might even been a Dario Argento flick. I can't remember. But it's almost shot for shot. Almost. I wish I could remember half the shit I talk about here. How nervous these two are. They're like legit laughing at each other. Have you ever just laughed at your girl when she's taking her shirt off? Aww. Looks like he's actually literally sucking her in. What a weird kisser. Aw, she's so happy. She can't wait to get dick down. Alright, so this is the pervert version of this movie, alright? God damn. Maybe I need to get some. This always bothered me too. And it's not about the suspension of disbelief. It's the character choice. I personally think the panties she was wearing before were cuter. She swaps them out for these fucking dirty poop brown ones. The sweater though, the sweater's a nice touch. Sweater and undies. It's a great look. It's a great look. So if you're a young lady or an old lady, and you want to just walk around like that. I mean, these black panties here are cute enough, man. I don't know why she changed them. Maybe in 1981, brown was cuter than black. Every time I see a chick in black panties, I always say, you know, they wear black because they know that they want someone to see them. I don't know. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's put a little on here. You know, ladies, here's a little hint. Don't spray this down on your cooter. Don't put perfume down there. If you have to put perfume down there to mask something, then you know what? Don't. Just don't, please. And if you're doing it to be cute, it's obnoxious. There's nothing worse if you have like a sensitivity to smells, which I don't. Like Christmas trees and stuff like that bother my sinuses, but I don't mind. I don't care. It's not a dire thing. But some strong sense, like when dudes are wearing way too much cologne and they walk by or some shit. Holy fuck, that vibrated the floor. It was a big truck with a loud exhaust. Oh, we were talking about F13fan.tuya.com. I actually, the main screen of that pooper, the main screen of the page before you click, I don't know why, I always made like an image that looked cool, and then click here to enter. I did that to almost every website. I don't know why, it's stupid, but it was from this scene. It was the hand with the blade, and I chopped it all out and then put a bunch of a collage of Friday the 13th. It looked really sick. Wayback Machine, find that image for me. I want it back. I want it back. Take a screenshot of it and send it to me. I'll give you a cookie. This right here, this guy. I know we're not quite there yet, but this is my third favorite kill. I mean, think about it. It's a dude in a wheelchair, so, you know, however you want to look at that. I mean, he's had some bad luck, but he's positive and he's still going to move forward, you know, regardless. And he's still maintaining his health. He's about to get some coups. Poor bastard. 3, 2, 1. Fuck. I must have turned away and didn't see the cut there. Because it happens right after this. Fuck your face! And it's not bad enough. It's not bad enough that he takes a machete to the fucking face, but he goes down the stairs and they do that zoom thing, and then you see these two coming. And she sucks on his Adam's apple. How weird is that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Apparently there was a cut of this scene where after the spear goes through them, he actually pushes her up off a little bit. And for some reason, I have kind of a memory of seeing something like that. And it might have been actually from what that was homaged from. Maybe copied from. I don't know. The entire first Friday the 13th was nothing but a ripoff. They even say it. They ripped off Psycho with the music. They ripped off Halloween. And the ending scare was a ripoff from Carrie with the hand. They just wanted the jump scare at the end, you know? They clearly say it. This whole fucking movie was a cash grab ripoff so we can pay our bills and get this other movie going. Little did they know that little independent film was going to cause so much havoc and trouble. And the other thing I really like about Jason versus some of the other killers is in the early ones you see him, you know, he's not just stalking, you see him go into the places and you see him walking up the stairs, and I think that's awesome. I think that's great. Like in part 3, and we'll get to that, when he's ripping through things in the barn, that's just so raw. Oh, okay, let's watch it. Oh, that sound. I also remember seeing that being a little bit longer, too. Look at this dude with the red butterfly collar. He's getting some. Look at that. Bertha there. Bertha there's all about that collar. She's going to take them dentures out tonight and satisfy that old dude. Man, I can't wait to get old. I'm glad Stu got to hang out and live, you know? He's out there somewhere with survivor's remorse. I doubt it. Although his friends just got impaled. So I suppose he'd be I suppose he'd be a little upset. Oh, we. I didn't get enough sleep last night. Sure are. There's a fucking cowboy hat and that pudgy bastard behind him. That thing was all. This is a brutal kill. And I don't mean in its gore or violence. It's again mean-spirited. He doesn't just take her out. And in most cases, the villains in these kind of movies, they just take people out. They don't really play with them too much. But this kill always resonated with me. I love that shot of the feet going up the stairs. They do that in part 3 a lot, too. Or a couple times, anyway. At Higgins Haven. Yeah, I can't believe we haven't watched that yet. It's like my favorite of all of them. May not be the best out of the series, but it's my favorite. Look at this. This is creepy. Is it as creepy as Michael Myers with the ghost sheet? Maybe not, but I don't know. But from here on, it's just so mean-spirited. He slashes her, right? Ugh, fuck you. And this dude hanging. I don't know where the chick is. And he just kind of just takes his time. That view right there with the blade. He just takes his time. She's freaking out. She's got plenty of time to savor the fear. The visceral fear. And there's really not much to it. It's one of the more sadder ones, you know? Because a lot of these people don't get to experience their death, you know? It's just a quick... I'm sure they were experiencing it, should they have been real people. But no, that's that. I mean, he's just kind of like, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. I mean, yeah. I almost traded. I had the Subaru for a while. This little. I think it was a Subaru. It was like a temporary car I had. I love that. This defines Friday the 13th. Seeing Jason do his thing, you know? Not just the killing, but seeing him drag the body, holding the body as he walks away, you know, that kind of stuff. He's not just like coming out and killing. It's quiet. These kids smoke better dope than I do. How's he know? How's he know? He's looking at a half-burnt joint. Yeah, boy. Wow, that was a big bang outside. I don't know if you caught that. Holy hell. I thought it was lightning. How perfect would that be? Right when the lightning starts in this video. Or this movie. What's going on? Nothing. Like a little kid. This is creepy. This is creepy. If you have the right screen with the right, you know, like it's a real dark scene. If you could see a little bit better than I can with this old TV, you barely see Jason in the corner there. And she senses it. Oh my God, what a great setup. Whoever said these movies aren't well thought out is a fucking idiot. Here he comes. Ugh. They do that also in part 7, where the lightning flashes and Jason's like far in the corner. I mean, once you see it, he's there, you know? But if you're not really paying attention, he just kind of blends in with the, not, you know, because the way they framed it, you know, you're not looking there. But he's there. This is a great reveal. He's like, peekaboo, motherfucker! Yeah. This is also another thing that comes to my mind when I think of Friday the 13th. This right here. Slamming his hand through that fucking window. And that weirdo switch on the wall with the coil wire. This is beautiful stuff right here. Oh, come on. That still gets me a little bit. I know it's coming. Harry Manfredini in that atmosphere, yo. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Why? This is fucking amazing. Little Shining homage. You know, I think it was at that point where she's like, fuck it, I'm going to fight. And then a pitchfork comes to the door and she's like, you know what? I think running might be the best option right now. I'm just going to kind of go through the screen and... Oh, that had to hurt. That had to really hurt in real life. And then she still had to get up and run. You can't tell me that didn't fucking hurt her hip. Or her back, lower back. Now, this setup and payoff, I don't think is as clever. I mean, as soon as you saw that the car was going to have trouble, you know what was going to happen. And they kind of play around with that in part 3 if you've never seen it. Watch it before my commentary coming in December, I'm sure. In fact, maybe I'll do it this week and I'll set it for December on Friday the 13th. And you know what? If I were to pass away between now and then, it'll be a creepy little surprise for you. I think about stupid shit like that all the time. Making a whole bunch of just videos and then, you know, spacing them out by, you know, scheduling them. Because I think a lot of big YouTube channels actually do that, you know. They just bang out videos all day long. And then they just schedule them all as they're completed. But imagine someone doing that. I spend it all week. Say I have a week vacation from work or whatever. And I spend that whole week making a fuck ton of videos. And then schedule them all. And then something happens, God forbid, save me, you know. And I end up unalived. I heard this described as a manic hillbilly. Shot him right in the nuts. And he's all like, ugh. He's human. And part 3, they stopped playing with that whole invincibility thing. I mean, I guess technically you could say they did it here. But I'm still saying that end scene is a dream sequence and never happened. And that's why a lot of people, they're like, it doesn't make sense, you know, seeing the beginning of part 3 when he's you know, pulling away, and after the recap of this. Look at that Datsun. That's a Datsun, right? What company did the Datsun become eventually? Let me know in the comments. Even if that's not a Datsun. Don't Google it. Your conscience will know, and you will cry, and you won't be able to sleep tonight. Much like with the other thing. Crazy Ralph was in 3 Friday the 13th movies. See, that's great. I mean, that's real. And they even show him getting up and shaking it off. He always seems to magically be there. No, he's running. He's chasing. He's missing her, you know? There we go. The moon. That shot was in the first one. Along with this music. Before it was, kill her, mommy. Don't let her get away. I won't, Jason. I won't. Look at the lamp. It's a creepy lamp. Music shuts off as soon as it shuts off. Stops as soon as the door closes. And we go back to silent stalking. Again, I'm not calling this high art or anything, but to say that these movies are trash and not well thought out. The big urine debate. We know in the comments, this is comment baiting. Is that her urine, or do you think it's the rat? It's a lot of urine for a rat. I used to breed rats for both pet and feed. I initially was doing it for my feed, for the couple snakes I had. And my girlfriend at the time had a tarantula that would eat pinkies. You can call that cruel all you want, but that's how Mother Nature intended it. So, I'm saying it's her pee. I mean, she's trying not to scream with the rat, and Jason's there, and now he smells pee-pee. That's what I'm saying. He probably saw it. I don't know. I don't think he's dumb. I don't think he's as dumb as he looks. I would have thought she would have seen him setting this up, but whatever. Surprise, motherfucker! Haha. Faulty craftsmanship. And look at it. There he is. He literally shakes it off this time. Why did his arm spark? I used to say that when I was a kid. Is he made of metal? Is Jason a Terminator? Safety plate for the stunt. They just left it in. Who cares? Jason sparks when you cut him. He's a 4th of July kind of guy. Wow. It's almost 3 o'clock. This is great. I love this. Except it is kind of stupid. See? There's the puddle. We already established it. I don't know why that's so important to me. It's just, I don't know. There's a continuity thing to it that makes it satisfying to me. We understand the geography of where they are. I don't know about you, but I see this shit in the middle of the woods. I don't give a fuck what's coming after me. My ass is assuming it's his home, and I'm off like a prom dress. Look at. Come on, man. Cinematography in this is amazing. That shot was set up beautifully. Here we go, the great reveal. Yeah. You even have some rotten corpses from part 1 in there. Pretty sure Alice is supposed to be one of them. This screen's really dark, so I can't really see. And the print from this box set's not the greatest. They literally just threw it together to get it out there. It was before like anyone gave a shit, really. I've seen so many people reproduce that head, and not one company or individual that I've seen yet has been able to make it look like it is. It always just seems to be more dried and shriveled, and a little too skinny. I'm not saying there isn't an artist that hasn't made one that looks identical. What I'm saying is of all the ones I've seen, no one's really nailed it yet. And I really kind of want someone to nail it. I mean, even Universal Studios, when they did the Halloween Horror Nights Friday the 13th, deal, they even redid that, and it didn't look right. Those are professionals. Here's a fun fact about that. When they did the Friday the 13th Haunt, after they had closed down the E.T. ride in California, they actually used the forest scenes from that for the Friday the 13th haunt. So technically, you're in E.T.'s land. They're connected. Jason, mother is talking to you. Look at it. He's just like, he doesn't do the head cock like, huh? He's just like, what? Wait a minute. I watched your head get, what? He's like, okay, maybe it is her. I'm glad Betsy Palmer came to do this. Although, in all fairness, she has said in interviews that she forgot she even did it. Kneel down. What a great ending. Look at his eyes, man. You can see it. He wants his mommy. You can see it in that dude's eyes. He's like, what are you doing, Mom? Wait a fucking minute. You skank. Oh, that right there always got me. I'm like, God damn, that has a lot of rust on it. not the cut, the weapon. The pickaxe. Pickaxe Pete over here. You know, Jason's just lumbering, fighting. He's not a supernatural monster. No. Till part 3, anyway. He's not zombie Jason yet in 3, but... Oh, excuse me. Wow, this screen is really dark. Fuck yeah. So I'm going to say... I guess I'm going to say, Look at his eyes. His eye. And he's just like, oh man, this sucks. That's not how this was supposed to go. I'm having a bad day now. I know Paul just stood up, but the rest of this movie's a dream. Until she's in the ambulance. Paul got dead. Sorry. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just blowing it out of my ass. It's like, oh, what the fuck is that? Let me know in the comments. I like how just calm this is. In your opinion, do you think Friday the 13th was the first movie to normalize or to cliche the killer revealing the creepy face at the end? I think they were. I think they were pretty much one of the only ones, except for the copycats. Because they have multiple ones where they do it. People are like, you finally get to see his face in part this. And it's like, no. You saw it in part 2, you saw it in part 3, you saw it in part 4. You know, I don't think you see it much in part 6 aside from when he's a corpse. You know? Part 7 you see it. I mean, the mask gets destroyed. Spoiler! Alright, maybe Paul didn't die. I don't know. I'm still going to say this is a dream right here. She passed out. Paul got killed. She killed Jason. She passed out and she's dreaming this. And the ambulance finds her there. Not at the cabin. It's a dream, damn it! And it's all because of this stupid fucking dog. Muffin has been muffed out. Oh, look how cute she is. So the picture I was talking about earlier, she looked just like this. But she was sitting next to Steve Miner. I mean, if you're a fan of the series, I'm probably sure you know exactly what picture I'm talking about. Actually, you know what, dude? Put your hand on the actual handle and use it like a swing weapon. You get more... I think. Bullshit. Nope. Nope. Come here, Muffin. He's all like, the doggy. You know what? She always looks super nervous there. And I think she always reacted a little too soon. And after watching a few interviews with her, I see why. Because this scene terrified her. And she actually had to do it a few times. And something went wrong with something. And she said it was probably the most horrific scene that she's ever done. And Steve Miner took her out and was like, look, I hate to be a jerk, but we got to do that scene again. So she's always seemed a little too jumpy. I don't know. People will sit there and say it's because she was, look at her. She's all like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I don't think she was nervous because of what just happened. I think the actress was nervous, not the character. There we go. The ending to yet another Friday the 13th. I love this music. Almost sounds like there's a little bit of a flange on it. Maybe he ran it through a Leslie speaker. That looks awesome. I wish someone could make that look as awesome as that. Don't get me wrong. The artists I've seen reproduce it. It looks great. It just doesn't look like that. And I'm not talking about the quality. I'm talking about the actual aesthetic of it. All right. So Amy Steele, John Fury, and all them. Adrienne King. I'm glad they put her there at the top, even though she got destroyed right away. Okay. Warrington Gillette. Where's that other guy's name? Oh, there it was. It just totally went by, but he was such a good dude. I was sad to hear that he passed away. So let me turn the TV off, and we'll go like this. So the movie's over. The credits are rolling. Guys, thanks for taking the time to hang out with me tonight to watch Friday the 13th Part 2, or whenever you do watch this. Hopefully you got through it. We didn't talk a lot about the movie, but, I mean, if we were to sit here next to each other, I mean, organically, that's, I guess, how it would go anyway. But let me know where in the Friday the 13th series this one ranks for you. And if you don't even like it, let me know if it's your favorite. Let me know if you fapped off to this as a 13-year-old kid. I don't care. Just tell me what you think about this movie down below. Did anything I say really bother you? Would you agree with some of the weirdness I came up with? That was an end. That end was a dream. Ginny's the only one who survived. And that's it. I'm going to die on that hill. Guys, thank you always so much for watching. I just looked down to make sure this was recording, because knowing me, that would have happened. But I really appreciate you hanging out with me, guys. So wherever in the world you are, I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday the 13th. May all of your slashings go well. And until next time, take care, creep it real, alzheimers, and bye-bye.